Welcome to the game. This is the show where we go play by play analyzing the game of politics. Today, homeownership has long been associated to financial freedom and to generational wealth. But in today's market, everyone is asking about affordability, from housing to electricity to travel. It's top of mind for the American voter. Policymakers are debating different solutions. But today, we're going to go deeper into real estate. We're going to look at the housing market. We're going to look at what is it that buyers should be thinking if they want to buy, refinance, or sell. We're going to talk about the next generation. Is this still part of the American dream? Is this a way to build wealth, or is this a way to establish community? And today, to talk to me about these key topics, we have Angelica Cruz. She is a real estate agent with Severa Real Estate Brokerage, and she is an in-house agent with the project The Writer here in Miami. Angelica, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on. Like I've mentioned, I think for years, especially in the Latino community, right?
Yes.
Some of our parents are immigrants, or some of ourselves are immigrants, and we've always tied the topic of home ownership, real estate, as something as part of the American dream. But the reality is now in 2025, many people are looking at the market, and some people don't really understand it. Some people are more in depth. They're seeing that the housing prices go up. In other cities, they're going down. We've heard a lot about that people during COVID, people left California for Nevada and for Texas. People left Philadelphia, Chicago, New York to come here to Miami. So I want to ask you on that. For generations, again, home ownership has been viewed as that cornerstone to the American dream. In your opinion, is there still truth to that, or are there challenges that people face?
Absolutely. I think owning your home, it's still a big part of the American dream, but it's evolving, you know.
Okay.
People right now, especially younger generations, are looking at homeownership as not only stability, but also flexibility.
Mm.
You know, they're looking for something that gives them not only a home, but also a home that is an investment.
Is the flexibility on, because I think the way younger generations view the American dream is different, right? If you look at like TV in the 1960s,
Yeah.
it was the husband coming home to the wife who stayed at home. It was the white picket fence. It was
Yes.
the dog in the back, the kids. But our generation and younger generations
Yes.
are looking at it differently. Do you think, when you say flexibility, do you mean
Yeah.
flexibility? You talked a little bit about sort of an investment, but is it also flexibility? Because I know in Miami, there's a lot of homes that you can Airbnb, you
Right.
can live there part of the year, then rent it of the year. Is
Yes.
that the flexibility you're referring to?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, they're looking more for short-term rental options and also maybe homes that they can rent while they're not here. Those type of things.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting. We are in what many people call a gig economy, right? If I'm not mistaken, 10 years ago, we didn't have Uber, right? So you couldn't have
Correct.
a side job where you went to do Uber. 10 years ago, we didn't have Airbnb. There's so many ways that people are now evolving through the economy. And I think real estate has involved. We'll talk about this later, I think, but I think people are buying real estate now with Bitcoin. They're looking at
Yes.
cryptocurrency, and it's completely changed. Even this administration, under the Trump administration, they've allowed Bitcoin specifically to come and be part of almost the wealth stability that people are looking for. There's people who sometimes say that you still have to be very careful. They can be risky. But speaking of those young people, how about the challenges a little bit? Are there, I mentioned the 1950s, right?
Yeah.
Homes during that time, $30,000, $40,000 dollars. Now prices, maybe a single family home is a lot more expensive. A condo can be a lot more expensive. And younger generations are asking, is this a good time to buy? Do you think, one, is it a good time to buy, or is it going to drop at a certain point? Are prices going to drop? And people are like, I'm waiting for prices to drop. I'm waiting for interest rates to drop. Or do you think, no, they're actually going to go up? Or does it depend what city? I know I throw a lot of questions at you, but the main question is, what are the challenges when it comes to pricing that this next generation is facing?
So yes, prices have been up and mortgage rates have been tough, but there's a lot of creative ways to enter the market.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are looking now at different options like pre-construction,
Mm-hmm.
like smaller homes or smaller units, condos,
Mm-hmm.
and they're also looking at properties outside of the traditional hot zones. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
something not exactly in the hot zone, but like more outside of
Yeah.
it.
In
And
Miami, we've seen that, right? Miami
yes,
is a city that's grown. Famously, I think people look at cities like Brickell, Midtown, or the beach, but I think a lot of people who historically have been in those areas have moved to areas outside, maybe
yeah,
Kendall, or even
Tamiami,
Miami, Broward, or even
yes.
in New York. We've heard of a lot of people moving outside of the main city. So it's a
Yeah.
trend that we're seeing.
Yes. You get more land
Mm-hmm.
for like a better price. But I think the idea is that you get your home, but don't worry about how the market is, right? Like, don't worry about how the rates are.
Mm.
I think the important thing is to get the home that you like and that fits the terms that you're looking for
Mm-hmm.
and your situation.
Yeah, I think that's key. It's interesting because here on the show we focus a lot on Jerome Powell, right? The Fed chair, and every time he has a press conference, they're on the edge of their seat, seeing if he's going to drop interest
Mm-hmm.
rates, and if he does, it moves through the market a little bit, and I mean like the
Yeah.
stock market, or if he says something that looks like he's not, people move. On real estate, my understanding it's a little bit different, right? I think a lot of
Yeah.
people wait for him to say if he's going to drop, but many times mortgage lenders, they already have a somewhat of a prediction if it's going to drop, and they're already adjusting some of these points. So you're saying when the person is thinking to buy, it should be more focused on what their goals are
Yes.
than necessarily where the interest rates is, because it doesn't
Exactly.
fluctuate as much.
Yeah. You should never wait for the perfect moment. You should just think about what really works for you, because you can always later refinance, but you
Hmm.
cannot go back and buy at lower price, like a lower price. So
Hmm.
I think that's the key.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because goals can be different. Someone can have a goal that it's more. We talked about Airbnb. They're looking more to generate wealth, right? Or just a
Yes.
rental home,
Mm-hmm.
or possibly something that they're gonna. I forget the term of it, but when you live in it and you also right, I think they call it like house hacking. But it's basically when you live in the house,
Mm-hmm.
but you also rent the rooms. Other people know. Other people, they want to build a home, right? They want to either paint it themselves. They want their family to move in with them, or if they're
Yeah.
married, obviously their wife
Yeah.
and their kids. So
Mm-hmm.
people have different goals. When you think of individuals who are thinking of home ownership,
Yeah.
and you use the word community, how important is it uh, as part of the American dream to be sort of have that stability, right? There are people who move and move, but how important is it people who are grounded in the community,
Mm-hmm.
that care about the schools, that care about the churches nearby, that it's not just an investment, right? There's nothing wrong with an investment,
Yeah.
but they care more about the community aspect.
It's very important. It's very important because, you know, we see home ownership as stability,
Hmm.
as family. Yes, it's just stability. So, uh,
And families want stability, right?
yeah.
I think many times when you're thinking of your future and your kids, you want that stability. You want that sense of community. Know that the neighborhood, again, the
So
schools,
when
and
you own your home, you tend to care more about your neighbors,
mm-hmm.
about your schools, your local businesses, and that creates a more stable community. So I think it's very important.
Yeah, I think it creates a sense of not just ownership for the home, but ownership for what's happening around you. You care more about it's safe, right? One of the things that we're seeing this year, and I think just in general, is the topic of safety. People want their kids to be able to either walk to school or walk
Yes.
to their neighbors. I think technology, right? iPads,
Yeah.
phones has become such a topic that we're so focused on our phones that we want our kids to go out and play, but we want to know that that neighborhood
Yeah.
is safe. I want to talk a little bit about Latinos in context. Where
Yes.
would you say Latinos are in the conversation of home ownership? Are we buying at a high rate? Do Latinos face different challenges? Immigrants, do they face different challenges? Give me a little bit of behind the curtain when it comes to Latinos who are trying to buy homes?
I think Latinos are one of the biggest driving forces in homeownership right now, and reports show that Hispanic investing has been growing during the past 10 years. Even during COVID, people were investing in Miami, and this is something very, very important in the community. You know, so
I think we come in. I mentioned this earlier, but we do come in with that sense of, you come to the United States, right? And I think one of the key aspects for the American dream is education. Our parents want us to graduate from high school, go to college, hopefully graduate from that 4 university. They want us to get that first job. And then I think their home ownership is one of those big ones. And it's one of those that many times our parents can achieve when they can't achieve college, right? They come here and they're not able to maybe go to high school. Maybe they came later on and they didn't go to college here. They maybe went to college back home. But they're able to work and build a home for us. They're able to get that home
and you know what? It's very interesting because younger people, especially younger generations, like second and third generations, are entering the market, earlier than previous generations, and that's very inspiring to see. So yes, younger people are already buying their first homes earlier, and yeah.
I think they should. I'm a big believer that that although real estate is evolving, I still continue to believe that it is a way. There's tax benefits to it when you invest. There's depreciation, I believe is the correct term of the property, again, that helps you towards taxes. There's also, again, that sense of community. Also, outside of Miami, I'm originally from Maryland. But what I like outside of Miami is that many homes have basements, and many people back in Maryland, they use the basement as a second income, right? This is a basement that has a kitchen, its own entrance, bathroom, and bedrooms. So many people, they'll live upstairs and they'll rent downstairs, and it's a way of sort of, again, generating income. You still have your place, and I think you can do that even from a young age.
In Miami, this is something, like I said, real estate is evolving. So we have new options in, for example, pre-construction, where, okay, you don't get the basement here, but you have options where you have a unit that has a lockout option, and you can rent one side or the other side. So, for example, a 3-bedroom, and you can separate them as 2 independent units.
Oh, wow.
And you can rent one side and live on the other side, or rent 3 beds or rent a studio. It's very flexible.
Yeah, I want to get into that because I do want to talk about the wealth side. We talked a little bit about the community side, sort of first-time home buyers. But for those individuals who I think, again, are looking at real estate more as like, how do I build wealth? And you talked about pre-construction. I actually want to say something before I go into the question. Lately, I've been watching, hearing podcasts and watching this stuff. There is, I think, a notion that everyone wants to get rich quick, right? I think because of Instagram, I was watching this gentleman that was talking about that everyone posts a picture in a Lamborghini, in a mansion, in a penthouse, and he was saying everyone apparently owns a penthouse in LA, New York, and in Miami. And I don't think there's enough penthouses for the amount of people who are posting pictures in penthouses. And he says the younger generation feels this urgency that I have to get rich now, right? But the reality is we all have a different journey to build wealth and to build success. And he was saying that success is built on, one, us finding something that we're good at, right? And second, he was saying it takes time. He says, look at real estate. Everyone has focused on real estate for years, but real estate can take time. It's not something that you buy and then the next day you're rich.
Yes.
So let's enter into the conversation of wealth. When you think of pre-construction, I think a lot of people think, well, I don't have cash to put everything down. Break down how pre-construction works. What are the process and the benefits that you believe pre-construction brings to those who want to build wealth?
So one of the benefits is that you can enter the market at today's price, and you have flexible payments. So basically, you can buy a unit today at, let's say, $800,000, and later it's going to be worth, so it grows in value.
Yeah.
It's going to be worth much more. And while you're waiting, you're making payments, but these payments are spread out.
Okay.
So, for example, 20% now, 10% 6 months later. You have time to make those payments.
Most people who are buying pre-construction, are they buying because they want to live in the home? Is it investment, or do you have a wide range of individuals in this space?
Yes, we have a wide range. So we have investors that just want their units for just investment, and then we have the people that love the city and that want to live in their units. We are seeing a lot of these new digital nomads,
Okay.
people that work from home but travel a lot, and when they're not home, they want to have the flexibility to rent their units. So that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people from a lot of places around the world. We see a lot of locals buying as well, but people from New York. We have people from California. We have people from New Jersey, and international buyers from Colombia, Argentina, Europe. So we have a lot. Yeah.
The United States, interesting enough, whenever I think there's a little bit of turmoil or there's change of governments in places like, you mentioned Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, and even in Europe, you do see a lot of buyers coming in to the United States. And some people think that it's really good in the sense that they bring a lot of investment that generates jobs, generates the movement of capital. There are other people who sometimes complain that it creates competition. If you're someone who believes in the free market, competition is good. It creates an opportunity for more building. Are you seeing that? Is your opinion? What are the cities in the United States that is attracting the most international buyers? And do you think it's good for the market? Is it creating unhealthy competition?
I don't think it's unhealthy.
Okay.
We see a lot of, and it's been for years, not now, but it's been forever that international buyers have been active in the United States, and especially in New York, in Miami, in California, and different states around the country. But I do not think it's a bad thing. It's good.
It's good competition.
Yes.
And let's go. I want to continue on wealth. But let's go a little bit to the basics, right? So someone who maybe they're thinking of buying their first home, but as an investment, or even a first-time home buyer, maybe not as an investment, but what are the basics that people should be thinking? If someone says, hey, I have no idea. My parents never bought a home. We always rented. Have a little bit of income. Not someone who's ultra wealthy, but just someone who's thinking of the basics. Should they be talking to a real estate agent first, a loan officer? How much should they think about their credit? How much should they have in savings? What are some of the things they should be thinking through?
So I always say start preparing early. So get your credit together, work on your credit, get pre-approved for a loan, mortgage. And
the pre-approval is through who? Is that?
That's a mortgage or a mortgage originator or a bank.
Yeah.
Whichever bank you prefer. Most of the time, I have a team. So I have the lawyer, I have the mortgage company, I have the entire team.
Yeah.
So yes, get prepared early and get to know your financing options. There is a lot of programs out there, even for international buyers, and get ready.
Yeah, I think that's getting ready is so important. I think not waiting to the moment that you say, I'm going to buy, right? If at some point you want to buy, start doing some of that research. Start talking either to an agent or start talking to a loan officer and start saying like, hey, maybe I'm not going to buy today, but I want to buy in a year. I remember when I was able to buy my first home, I was a lot younger. The loan officer said, well, you don't qualify yet. There's some things on your credit that you need to get rid of. I had something there that I had helped a friend with a credit card. Yeah. And they're like, you can just call and get your name off of that. There's some basic steps that even though I was ready, it took me about 9 months to get to the point. So my advice would be, I would piggyback to what you said is, even if you say, I'm not going to buy yet, getting in the position, ready to buy, knowing your finances, knowing where you need to be on your credit. It never hurts to have money saved for this. I think those are some of the key elements when it comes to preparation.
Yeah, and most people don't start at the right place. They usually start, with the realtor, and the our job is to inform people of what to do. And one of the first things and most important things is to get pre-approved by the bank before even searching for a property, because you don't know if you're gonna get pre-approved and you love that property and it's gonna go away way before you get your pre-approval letter.
Yeah. One of the things we're seeing now is the United States has different pockets of real estate markets in how they function isn't the right word, but in how they are. Let's use function for lack of a better word. And what I mean by that is, for example, Miami, New York, LA, there are similarities when it comes to either pricing or people moving from area to area. Kentucky is going to have a very different real estate market than Chicago. Chicago is going to be very different than Iowa. But something that I've been hearing is about housing shortages, right? There's a lot of either in some places lack of inventory. I've heard a lot that older people have a really good interest rate at 2.5, numbers that we don't see anymore. So older folks are maybe not trying to sell. They want to hold on to that. So there's not a lot of options for some individuals. Also in different cities, I've heard in Miami that single family homes aren't as available. There's more condos. So when it comes to housing shortages, one, do you think that's an issue? Do we need more construction? Or does the government need to create more incentives for construction? Or do you think, what's your opinion when it comes to housing shortages?
So we are seeing more construction already. If you go around Miami, all you're gonna see is new construction. Now, when it comes to having fewer homes on the market, that's something that happens every now and then. The market readjusts, and we usually see more people selling again. So it really depends on how the market is at the moment.
Yeah. Where do you see the market going in the next few years? I know you said we shouldn't, you can't time it perfectly. But when you think of Florida, for example, about 2 weeks ago or last week, if I'm not mistaken, there was a big election for mayor in New York City. So Ron Mondami, who's the first Democrat socialist to win in the city of New York. Many people have said that there's going to be a second wave, right? We remember COVID.
Yes.
There was a wave of people coming into South Florida or Florida in general. And now some people are predicting that maybe there's going to be more people leaving out because they might not agree with his policies. What I want to ask you on is, do you believe in places like Florida there will continue to be waves, or have we sort of seen, the peak of people moving to this area?
Oh no, Miami is growing, and it's growing fast. And we are seeing a lot of people moving into Miami. New York, I'm guessing, yes, there's going to be a lot of people moving in and buying, their primary homes here, just because, like you said, they don't agree with certain policies. But I think Miami, it's not stopping anytime soon. And we're seeing a lot of growth and a lot of people moving in, and it's not stopping.
Yeah, a big part of it is, and you see this even outside of Miami, places like Texas and Nevada, but I would say primarily Texas and Florida. You're not just seeing individuals move, but you're seeing corporations move.
Yes.
Tesla moved a lot of their headquarters to Austin or the outskirts of Austin. You've seen Citadel Capital move here to Miami.
Yes.
Is that a trend that you're seeing? What are other either companies, or why is it that Florida and Texas are attracting not just people but companies, in your opinion?
Well, remember, we don't have state taxes. So we just got, not too long ago, Amazon just rented 76,000 square feet of offices right on 29th Street, which is huge. So we have Jeff Bezos in the house.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yes. And big companies like worldwide, only in Wynwood do you have Spotify, you have Live Nation, you have TikTok. I think they have offices there too. So yes, a lot of people, big companies are moving to Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami, just Florida in general, and then like I mentioned, Texas, even Georgia is seeing some. A lot of people are looking, I think, at the cultural environment. But I mean culture, one, the warm weather helps quite a bit, but then also an economic culture when it comes to no state income taxes, like you mentioned. I think Governor DeSantis here in Florida, Governor Greg Abbott in Texas has said that they want to be a friendly place for entrepreneurs and a friendly place for business. And they said it's important to be friendly to businesses, small and large
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, because these are folks who are job creators, right? When
Yeah.
these folks move here, you need employees from everything from the accountant to the lawyer to the person who's going to build the building, the person who's going to clean, maintain it. There's a wide range of job creation that happens in this space. I want to talk a little bit about technology and real estate. People talk about AI, they talk about Bitcoin. Are you seeing that AI is playing a role in real estate and also cryptocurrency? What role are these technologies playing? I think 10 years ago, you could not buy a home with cryptocurrency. Are people able to do that now?
Yes. And so there was two questions there, right?
Yeah, a little bit on AI and
So
crypto.
AI,
Mhm.
I think AI is revolutionizing
Yeah, yeah.
revolutionizing the world, not
Mhm.
only in real estate but in every aspect.
Mhm.
And it's something that we need to learn to work with.
Is there any fear in the in your industry that AI could compete with the
Yeah,
real estate agent?
and I think it's, a lot of people in not just real estate but many other jobs are
Mhm.
a little
Yeah.
afraid. But yes, I think I saw not too long ago that there was a robot or an AI
Mhm.
doing sales in Portugal, I think
Oh
it
wow.
was, and being very successful at it, like sold $1 billion or something like
Yeah.
that. And I was like, wow. Yes, you get a little afraid of
Mhm.
it, but this is the future, and I think if we start working together with the AI, it's gonna be a win-win
Yeah, yeah,
situation.
and it's not just real estate for sure. I mean, even I mentioned Uber earlier, but I think Tesla, even Amazon is they have now technologies where, and it's very AI based, where they're seeing if trucks can be self-driven or
Yeah,
self-driven cars. I think when we
that's
think about the
amazing. I
yeah,
love it.
it's interesting. It's the future, and I think you can have two approaches. You can have the
Yes.
approach of hey, it's going to flood and I'm fearful of the flood, or I can have the approach of I'm going to build an ark.
And I'm gonna learn how to work with it.
Very
I think
much.
that's the key. Learning how to work with AI and using it the right way. Because it could be,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think people who found themselves, when the fax machine came, the telephone, the computer, they found themselves. But I do want to get back to the question on
On crypto,
crypto.
yes.
How has that changed and how has real estate interacted when it comes to
So
cryptocurrency?
this is something pretty new for real estate, but there is we already have transactions in Bitcoin and
Hmm.
in crypto in general. There is a lot of ways people can use their crypto to buy real estate, and that's amazing because
Hmm.
you're buying your asset and you're keeping your money safe in real estate. So yes, you can basically do wallet to wallet transactions where you can just purchase your unit with the crypto you have,
Hmm.
whether it is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP. Um, and you can always get also a loan or a mortgage using your Bitcoin as collateral.
Interesting.
Yes, so you have those two options. There's options for people that use crypto. They can definitely buy real estate.
Is is the use of crypto more because that's how people sort of build? We've heard in the last few years people have built their wealth through crypto. Is it because of that, or is there a tax incentive, or is it mainly just no? These people happen to build wealth in
So
this area.
yes, no, well, people usually, not everyone, but like a lot of people have this crypto from a long time.
Mm-hmm.
There was no options before to buy with crypto, real estate with
Yeah.
crypto. There was not such a thing. So and usually people that have crypto don't want to sell their crypto. They
Mm-hmm.
want to keep it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have options for that. And what's interesting is that now they have those options, and I think yeah, I mean it's flexible. They can
Yeah.
buy it. With,
Interesting. I do want to ask you a little bit about yourself. Tell us a
hmm
little bit about your journey. How do you tell us a little bit where are you from, and then how do you get into real estate?
So I was born in Colombia, but I was raised in Philly. So
Nice.
half Philly girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I moved here 10 years ago to Miami. I love it. Love the weather.
You
Love
beat
everything here.
everybody before the COVID
Yes.
coming down from the Northeast. So you beat them.
Yes, and it's very interesting because I started to love real estate
Mm-hmm.
when I got to see one of the biggest agents here in Miami
Mm-hmm.
show me a property, and the way she showed me the property was very interesting, very nice. You know, she made me feel comfortable. She
Mm-hmm.
made me feel like I was looking at my home,
No.
and she inspired me to become a real estate agent. It took me a few years,
Yeah.
but I did it.
Awesome.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that you think real estate agents are facing now? Just like home buyers are facing, some challenges, and the market is moving. What are some of those challenges that you guys face as agents?
When you're new, you mean?
New or even now? Yeah, just real estate agents in general. I mean, we always hear of the market going up and down, or people are looking at interest rates. Are you guys also facing challenges of, is there waves of, there's a lot of interest or lack of waves, or again the challenges of AI? Just in general, what are some of the challenges that maybe your industry
You will
faces?
always find challenges in this market, but I think the most important thing as a real estate agent is to stay focused
Hmm.
and be consistent. You know,
Yeah.
and I think for everything that you do in life, to be consistent is the key, and to have a passion for what you do.
That's okay. Yeah, passion and consistency is real key. I would do want to end the show by asking one last question. I do want to ask you for that family or that individual that's saying, "Hey, I want to buy my first home. I don't know if this is the direction to go," and they need a little bit of encouragement. They just want a word of encouragement. What's your word to those individuals thinking, if I want to take that step?
I think you should always follow your instinct. If
Hmm.
you want to buy your property now and you think it's the right time for you, do it. Don't think about the perfect moment, like I said before. If you have the financing, the financial um, option, if you can do it now, and get prepared. You know.
Get prepared is a big one. Well, it's good to hear that
Yes.
you have a team. I think also for the person buying, they should think through who is their team of advisors. I think we should do that all in life, right? Is it a real estate agent? Is it someone in your family who's already bought a home, or a friend who's already bought a
Yes.
home? Is it the loan officer? Is it someone who knows about financial planning? I think in general in life, we should always have the people that are advisors that can
Yes.
speak into our lives, that we're not going into blindly, having positive voices, but also challenging voices that tell us what's good and what's bad, and that can challenge our thinking in this way. Angelica Cruz, thank you for being on the show. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
having you on. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in again to the show. This has been The Game, the place where we go play by play, analyzing the game of politics.